Bears are altruistic beings. They care for one another and are fully capable of expressing empathy. They are tolerant and gentle until they aren't. But that's only self-defense. This is why you related to the bear. This is why you couldn't take that costume off. That damn costume made of felt and thread, yet you were convinced it was flesh and blood. A skin more fitting than your own. And this right here out your window, this was Granny's house. Granny's skin. Well, it used to be, at least. A new home is being built here now. A new skin. Granny's house is gone. Just as she is. But this is present day. We must return to the past. You'd been living in the foster home for almost a week. You didn't like the people here. They aren't a real family. You missed your real family. You missed Granny. It wasn't the same. You live with 5 people. Doug and Carla Peters are your foster parents. Sarah is your foster sister, 7 years old. Max and Owen are your foster brothers, 8 and 17 years old. Your foster siblings don't like you. They think you're strange. Your foster parents think you need to grow up. You're getting too old for these stories, getting too old to play pretend. The theater class taught you that people can play pretend for a living, so how could you be too old for that? One day, you invited Sarah and Max out to the woods to play. Surprisingly, they agreed to come with. You wore your bear costume there. You could tell they hated it. The deeper into the woods you went, the deeper into your world you went. And the more Sarah and Max lost interest. They suggested playing tag, hide and go seek, maybe. Why couldn't they get it? All they had to do was play along. The kids teased you. You didn't like that. You intended for them to play along. You became very angry. In a bear-like outburst of rage, you punched Sarah. Max pushed you. You fell from an unseen drop-off and tumbled down a 14-foot-tall hill, left with a harsh gash in the side of your skull. The strike was so severe, it paralyzed most all the muscles in your face. This paralysis left you unable to control facial expressions, making conveying emotion near impossible. It also made speech extremely difficult. You had to rely on a pen and notepad from there on out. And things only got worse. Following the incident, your foster parents refused to read your favorite story, as it encouraged what they referred to as bad behavior. This nearly destroyed you. You started sneaking out at night again. You'd kept your gas lantern from Granny's in the move over to the foster home, and took it out to the woods with you. One night you found something out there, resting alongside a large tree. A small sledgehammer. You decided not to take it back home, but to bury it here for later. Maybe it would come in handy someday. Night after night, you'd return to the woods to think up all the ways that you could use this thing. And one night, you dug it up. It was way past your bedtime. Everyone at the house was fast asleep, except for teenage Owen, who'd taken the Peters car out for a long late-night cruise, yet to return. You crept around the side of the house, peering into window after window. No one's up. With your bear suit on and sledgehammer in hand, you carefully headed inside. So, what followed? Well, you found the Peters fast asleep in the master bedroom, only to bludgeon both of their faces in. The children awoke to the screams. Little Max tiptoed down the hall and cautiously pried open the bedroom door. He saw you standing over the bed, your bare suit splattered with blood. The sledgehammer looked like a giant lollipop, a now bright red metal head on a stick. Your eyes met, and then you ran at him, hit him sledgehammer to ribcage, and the 8-year-old child fell to the ground, squealing in pure agony. The hammer came down on his head, too, and then on Sarah's. Owen had just pulled up to the house. He thought he'd heard screaming and rolled his windows down. He definitely could hear more screams. Owen called 911. You ran out of the house, bolting through the back door, over a fence, a neighbor's gate, and then down to the park and through the woods. You buried the sledgehammer back in the ground, along with the costume, and stayed the whole night. Early the next morning, the authorities found you there, sleeping against a tree trunk. They said they were taking you away for what you'd done. In response, you produced your notepad from a pocket. You wrote something down for them to read. It said, "It was only a bad dream." Foster home homicide becomes a huge news headline. You were sent to the nearby psychiatric hospital. No woods. No suit. No sledgehammer. This was your new life. Proceed to subfolder 3981 for instructions regarding the next chapter in your story. Feel free to explore the visual subfolder for further reference.
So, what is it that you experienced here just moments ago?
Well, I pulled up to the house around 11:30. I wanted to drive. I had to separate myself from home life for a few hours, but I never would have expected to come home to something like this.
What is it you saw?
I didn't see anything noticeable. The house was dark, lights were off. I could tell everyone was probably asleep. It's what I heard. It caught my attention.
What did you hear?
Screams. And I recognized them. My foster siblings.
So what did you do?
I called 911.
What was going through your head in that moment?
I sort of just froze up for a few seconds. After that, I picked up my cell and dialed.
Have you gone back inside the house yet?
I won't be going back in there.
Do you know where the murderer is now?
Gary, the authorities told me he'd fled. Nowhere to be seen. They said they plan to track him down tonight.
Well, thanks for talking with us, Owen.
No problem.
So this is the place. Check it out. This is the backyard. The Gary Keene sprinted out through. And this is the fence. Well, it looked like it was more of a chain link back in the 80s. This must be a new fence. It's not in the crime scene photos. It's a lot harder to climb. Hey, anyways, it's cool stuff, right?